Hey Clash is the top strategy for every town level. It doesn't matter if you're town level 9, 13, 16. This strategy is always at the top of the rankings. It's super consistent, it's super strong, and I will show you how to play, what are you looking for with your queen charges, and obviously what are the equipment to use. For the Barbarian King, we're going with a classic one, which means the Gauntlet and the Rage Vial. You don't need them on this high level, don't worry. If you have them lower level, that is totally fine as well, but those are the best equipments for the Baron King. For the Queen, we're going for the invisibility and for the spawning archers. It's not about the ability of the archer spawning, it's more about the base stats this equipment gives your queen, which is the crucial thing why you're picking this equipment. For the Warden, well, might be a bigger surprise, but the life gem with LaLo is just super important, especially if you're going against Splash. Well, even with a nerfed Rage Tower, your troops can still get one shot, and then the Healing Tome, this does not give you anything. This is why we're going with the bonus hit points. That's way more important for your loons. And the Royal Gem classic combination, I mean, nothing surprising here. Let's dive into some attacks and we'll exactly show you what you have to look out for and how you have to approach your attacks. And we're starting with an anti-2-star base. At this point, I want to give a huge shout out to Temper, who is sharing and providing the replays for today's video, because I feel like when I'm doing those live attacks, I cannot really get out of the messages across I would like to, like explain what exactly you're looking for, what are you charging for, and so on. But with having those top players sharing their attacks, I feel like this is way more easy than for me to explain and really highlight the important things for you guys. So obviously there's live attack videos, but as well there's some analyst powered like in this attack, and we have something in store for the next couple of days with stars with Zap LaLo. Really excited for that, but for now let's take a look at the Queen Charge LaLo. What Temper is doing on this base is well, pretty classic. Funneling is key. That might be something which you have heard already a lot, but especially on ring bases, this is one of the base styles which is designed to make you mess up when it comes down to the pathing of your troops. What he does is he lets his queen walk around, and with that, this air defense is snipeable with the wizard and his king from this side, and with that, the queen has no other way than going into the core, which is super clutch. Another thing which is really important is know the limit of your queen, which is really significant. Because a lot of times I see players trying to save the queen even though she has gotten out of the value already. No, I'm not saying that if you're charging the channel you should let your queen die, because that's kind of the first thing which happens in the first minute. But no, like if you're having an attack going like this one, where everything looks really solid, but the queen has got most of the value, and the next thing, there's two back-end ground exposed, well, that's kind of probably the time where you're saying, well, I've gotten out of the value, but that's it for my queen. At this point, she can go down, and I will invest the rest of the spells for the LaLo if I have to. And this is exactly, and it's a really important thing in queen charge attacks, that sometimes the queen is the best queen if she's not there anymore, which sounds kind of harsh, but that's kind of how it is. LaLo now is going through, and at this point you might notice iTzu, there is a ton of spells left in this one. That's, I guess, another thing about pros, that they really like to swag, and well, that's exactly what Temper does on this attack. Nicely swagging a ton of spells and even the siege. And by the way, if you want to see more attacks of that, Temper said that he would like to stream in the near future, so I will, as soon as I get the links from him, put those down below in the description of this video. So I hope that you make sure that check him out and, well, give him some nice views already, because those attacks are crazy. But let's move on to the next base style and see what we can learn there. The next base style we want to take a look at are diamond bases. And this is a moment where I want to really highlight that if you're watching this video, maybe a few other LaLo videos, it won't be the case, that most likely at least, that you will just watch the videos, you will try the strategy, and on a magical way, you're going to 3-star every single base. This is not how LaLo works. You will have to put in quite some time to learn the strategy, the basics, and get the routine in. On the other side though, as soon as you have played and on your skill level mastered LaLo, you have kind of mastered Clash of Clans, because LaLo will be always strong. This is a strategy which is as consistent as it could get. This strategy is always good and always will be good, so putting the time into learning it is always worth it for playing Clash of Clans. But on this one, let's take a look at this base. Another reason why this strategy is so good is because it's flexible. You can use pretty much any siege. You can go for the town hall with your queen. You can go from the far side. What Temper does on this one, he's going from the far side. Because we had 2 of the multi-archer towers. We have this triangle with the 3 multi-inferno towers. So there's a lot of damage, which would be kind of threatening to your LaLo. On the other side, we would have had ground expos, another ground defense, another ground defense. So a lot of damage which would have been on your queen and would have not really done any good for your queen charge right there. This is why you have to always consider, okay, where are the important defenses to take down with your queen to make your LaLo easier. And yes, I know a lot of people still have the mindset of always having to charge the town hall, which kind of was in some aces really good. But this kind of has shifted, as the base meta has shifted as well, and has completely started to counter those approaches. And this is exactly what this base does as well. Like charging in here, you could obviously get a lot of value, but this value is not really good for any follow-up, because you have so much damage on the far side then. So what I'm trying to tell you is, make sure that you're identifying where the important damage is and where the less important damage is when it comes down to your LaLo. Kind of like as the queen charge Twin Hogs, where you had to charge the area which was too dangerous to get through for your hogs, instead of charging the area which was super easy for your queen. It's always about your follow-up, it's not about the queen charge, because if you're getting good at queen charges, you can queen charge pretty much anything. But with that, we're going to the town hall. On this one, he's delaying the warden ability. Sometimes it's not bad, especially if you don't know where the tornado trap is, because with the new HP or extra HP from the life gem, your loons are going to survive that town hall explosion. What is the dangerous part is if you're getting spun into the tornado trap and then into the town hall poison, which can deal a lot of damage as well. So sometimes it's even worth it to kind of delay the warden ability. But for this one, let's move on to the next base, because we had a ring, we had a diamond. Let's take a look at the box base next. On this style of base, the same as a diamond base if it uses 2 rages, one of the most important things is to take at least one of those rage tower areas out. It's with a blimp, it can be with your king, with your queen, it doesn't matter, but it has to go down. Putting your LaLo through 2 of those raged up areas is really painful and something you don't want to do. As well, versus box spaces, a really common approach is just sending your king for the town hall. It does not matter if you're playing Queen Charge LaLo, Queen Charge Root Riders, whatever. Having your king go for the town hall is a super clutch thing. The next approach is to charge into one of the rage towers with your queen and then the flinger going away from her. But you can kind of flip those 2 things as you wish and as the base is like giving you the opportunity to. So for example, you could have charged the queen here and the flinger, for example, here. All of that would have been possible. But the key thing on this one is, because we had so much damage here, you had to charge into this part with the queen, and this now gives us 1 rage tower for the LaLo. And this rage tower is covering a lot of key defenses which are really important for your LaLo in general, but you have the 1 warden ability. So 1 rage tower is not the problem. 2 rage towers is nearly impossible to get through, and you would need one of the best LaLos out there to somehow even get close of accomplishing that. But for now, we have the king for the channel, we have the queen taking down the bottom side, and things are looking great. At this point, you can start now with the LaLo. As well, another important thing is time management with queen charges. Try to plan ahead. What do I mean by that? Well, pretty simple and easy guide, or more like tip, I guess, is know when your queen is having a lot of damage on her and what time you might have less damage on her. Because I see a lot of players starting with their LaLo because they think, okay, that's a good time to start with a LaLo, and they're about to approach the clan castle, defending heroes, a rage tower, like a ton of defenses. Don't do that. In queen charge attacks, you have to plan ahead. The time where he started the LaLo is where the queen was within complete safety. Only the monolith was there, which means a freeze every 5 seconds or something was completely fine and enough to keep the queen alive, but he had not to concentrate on the queen non-stop. And that is a super important tip for you guys, because if you have the LaLo part and you have to pay attention to the queen, that is nearly impossible, and even pro players lose their queen through her abilities sometimes because of this missed time management. So having this time management is clutch for those attacks. Let's take a look at the next base, which has been actually one of the bases which I've been running over the last couple of days and have defended insane for me. By the way, if you want to copy this, I've put the link down below because I've switched away from this base today because I think it got too popular at the high legend, but maybe for low legend it could save you some defenses. But as well, this is going to showcase nicely why ring bases right now have a really rough time and why I think that Clash of Clans Town of 16 in specific is going to feel way different as soon one thing has changed, and that's the king bug. On this attack, I will explain again what exactly this bug is and why I think it's so important that it get fixed and that I hopefully don't see any balance changes before that bug has been fixed. Because I see a lot of people saying Root Riders are too strong. I think there's some other things as well out there, but the Root Riders is the most common one. And I still think that Root Riders might be a little bit too strong, but we don't know like 100% just yet. The reason for that is some troops abuse this king bug way more than others. Have you ever had one of those defense in your defense log where people have put it to Root Riders together or Valkyries? The only reason why those weird strategies work at the moment is exactly this bug. But let me explain what exactly it is and why it works so well with those strategies. So what you do with this one is you use the Warden ability, and if your Barbarian King is inside the Warden ability and is using the epic equipment, instead of having a damage reduction with the King ability of 40 to 60%, this damage reduction is buffed up to 100%. This is already a confirmed non-intentional interaction, which is not how this should be. But ring bases are suffering quite a bit from this bug because, well, the king can freely walk around there and take down the entire core of this base with having first the Warden ability and then the king ability complete invincibility, which is kind of destroying a lot of bases right now, which could be strong in the meta. So this is why I think that Supercell has to first fix this bug, and after that they have to do the balance changes because, as I said, some troops like the Super Archer Blimps, like the Root Riders, all of those strategies are abusing this bug the most compared to any other strategies. And this is why, for example, Dragon attacks right now feel kind of weak because they can't really take advantage of this, well, mistake right now in the game. And this is why it feels kind of like a bit different attacking with those right now. And if you really want to try hard and if you want to, like, I don't know, take advantage of that, this is like something which you have to keep in mind when playing any strategy. And this is why I think Supercell has to fix that first, and then we have to see balance changes because a lot of those attacks would have not worked without that bug. But in the end, Temper is getting another 3-star for us. As I said already, if you want to copy this base link, it's down below in the description. And I hope that you learned quite a bit. If you want to see more from Temper, make sure that you're following him with all of those links, which I will add then in the description. Thank you so much for that. I will see you guys back tomorrow with the next Clash video. Until then, see ya and bye-bye.